Valor Mogolis, everybody. We are the Hypes Watch, and we are back again with another Game of Thrones Season 7 review. This one for episode number 5, Eastwatch. And I am joined today, as always, by my boys from the Watch. We got my man James Bushell from JBTV, Sir LT Giles, the ladies' man, and of course, show hater Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat. Hey, stop interrupting me while I'm doing intros, goddammit. So, this one, of course, Eastwatch, very, very interesting episode. Not action-packed like the last one, but doesn't need to always have action. Man, oh man. So, I thought this was a pretty good episode. Maybe in some parts better than the last episode, some parts not so much. I mean, again, action is what action is. But let's start off with the show started off, and that is the fact that Jaime and Bronn survived. They survived. Bronn was able to pull Jaime out of the water, and they decided they are going to make their way back to King's Landing so Jaime can try to convince Cersei that, you know what, maybe this ain't the thing that you want to do. She brought one dragon, she decimated us. 3 dragons, I don't know if we're gonna fare so well against that one. And Bronn is like, hey, listen, damn it, I'm not letting you die until I get my money and my castle. So you gonna be alive until this whole thing is over and until your debt is paid to me. So, James, what did you think about this particular part of the opening with, with Jaime and Bronn?
Well, first off, I had a proposition I wanted to bring up in the intro, and that is that at the end of this video, I want us to predict which of the Samurai 7, which I'm dubbing them, which is the 7 guys going out past the wall, is going to survive next episode. So hopefully we can do that at the end of this chat. But in terms of this beginning scene, I mean, I was kind of hoping that at least Jaime would get captured. I mean, he'd be a valuable prisoner. I mean, Tyrion specifically saw him charging at the dragon, and then at the last second, obviously getting saved by Bronn, and he's not going to bring that up at all. He didn't care that his brother got dumped into the river, and he's not going to try and either go after him or B, at least find his body. I feel like that's a logical in fallacy. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that point. The fact that Tyrion, we saw clearly in the last episode, he saw Jaime charging Dany, and I guess he just didn't question it when he jumped into the river. So I feel that's a logical and fallacy. It's hard for me to overlook, but I mean, what else to say about the scene? I guess somehow they got out of it. They got out of it with a bunch of Dothraki dragons. They got out of it. I mean, not much else to say. Logical and fallacy, it is what it is.
I mean, it looks like they got swept downstream, though. So it just might have been a thing where, they're thinking about, all right, well, those 2 went into the water, and it looked like it might have been far enough that the Dothraki weren't, in the immediate vicinity, and
okay, I would say though, but even if that's the case that they got swept down, don't you think that Tyrion should have been in a panic looking for him, or at least trying to find his body?
I mean, I think the more immediate concern was when Daenerys was, trying to make the Tarleys and the rest of the soldiers who were there bend the knee. So I just think he might not have had a moment to really think about that. We saw him surveying the aftermath, and I just think that maybe at the time he might not have had, a few seconds to think about that with everything kind of moving the way it was.
Yeah, I think it's an invalid.
That's a stretch there. A giant stretch that you're making down, Willie.
All right, well, Jerry, your thoughts on this?
Okay. So not only, well, I mean, they obviously couldn't have got swept away that fast because when he goes straight down. He's not, being. You don't see any fucking current pushing him, and it would have been a pretty fast current. It would have need to be a real fast White Rapids current to take him that far down in the matter of time in which he was down there. And even still, he was down. He must have been down there for a long ass time because when they got up, there was nobody around, and we saw that fucking. That was like a long ass line of army going on down that river, and apparently they had cleaned up, gotten out of there all by the time that Jamie went down and then came back up. So Jamie must have held his breath for about, I don't know, like 2 hours. I'm just thinking that, Warner Brothers, what were they thinking? They cast the wrong guy as Aquaman from the Game of Thrones show. They should have been looking at Jamie instead of Drogo. That's what should have been happening. But yeah, James is 100% right. This is completely stupid that they didn't try and find and capture Jamie. That'd be like if Rob surrounded Jamie at the Whispering Wood and just like, okay, Jamie, you can go. We're cool. You can just leave. We don't need to capture you. Yeah, it is completely stupid.
Okay, LT?
I don't let stuff like that bother me, so it doesn't bother me. I'm glad Jamie and Bronn didn't die. I like both of them, so we can move on.
But I mean, even still, LT, don't you think that it would make sense for them to look for a person that's in high position
definitely,
of power?
but it doesn't bother me that they didn't. I mean, whatever. It just doesn't. It doesn't bother me.
All right, fair enough.
Well, yeah. We know writing doesn't bother LT, so
All right,
we should move on.
Hey. God damn it. No, we're not doing that today, Jerry. Stop it.
Well, no, he said it right now.
Hey, stop it. Anyway, so next up we get Tyrion surveying the aftermath and Daenerys telling the remaining surviving soldiers to bend the knee or be killed. Randall Tarly, steps up, after, well, he doesn't step up. He gets called forward. Daenerys is like, hey, you're not going to kneel? He's like, look, man, you are not my queen. I already know who I'm serving. He denounces Daenerys. And she's like, all right, well, fine. And if you're not going to kneel, then you're going to die. And Dickon decides, he's not going to let his father die on his own. But it was kind of crazy because Randall Tarly was telling Dickon, like, nah, leave it alone. Survive. And I'm not exactly sure why Randall Tarly was being that obstinate, but it is what it is. And listen, after he gets roasted and Dickon gets roasted, the rest of the soldiers are like, all right, cool, we're done, we're kneeling. So LT, I want to get you first on this one. Your thoughts on Daenerys, especially the fact that Tyrion was trying to convince her to do anything else, and she just wasn't trying to hear it.
I just don't get why didn't they just bend the knee and then Daenerys take him to her service and then just leave on her when she's not paying attention. Like, that's easy to do. It's just like, I hate to jump off subject. It's just like Ned Stark, and I know you guys give me this argument, he's too honorable with this. It's just like Ned getting sent to the wall. The wall's right by Winterfell. He could just, what I'm saying? It's like, just bend the knee and then leave. Why burn? And then she's a sadistic, man, I don't know. I don't know about Daenerys, man. She's, like Tyrion was saying, they could join the Black, and I know he didn't want to join or turn the Black, but it's like, she didn't have to burn them. Like, really, it's like, he's just too aggressive. That's too aggressive in my book.
Okay, Jerry.
Well, first, Tarly's fucking reasoning was wrong. He said Daenerys wasn't born in Westeros, which is not true because Dragonstone is part of Westeros. So, I mean, he's already talking out of his ass, but I mean, I don't think it so matter much. It's more of like, this kind of tells me that Tarly and his house, I've already picked that they're going on Aegon's side, so in the books that they're going to be a casualty on that side. Like, they're going down along with, most of Dorne and stuff like that. So that's what it signals to me. That's why he had to die, because he's going to die in the books. Not in this manner, but he's going to die in the books. I don't know why she's fucking burning him. I mean, it's a little bit more cool. I mean, you burn them, they don't feel that. It's extreme pain for a little bit, but like just a little bit, then they're dead. Then it burns off their nerves and they're dead. But I mean, it would have been a little bit more humane to just chop off their head, have a Dothraki chop off their head. I don't know why they needed the spectacle to, burn them. Why not just chop off the head? So we got like a fiery dick, he gets fire crotch or something. And so, wait, I got a question. So this is since Samwell is saying that that's his bastard son, and since Sam is part of the Night's Watch, doesn't that make Gilly's child that now the head of House Tarly?
I guess it would. I mean, it's either that or they would wipe House Tarly like from the records and then give the house to someone else. Same thing that happened with Highgarden. Remember, the Tyrells were the stewards for the Gardeners, and after the Gardeners got wiped out, that's when they brought up Tyrells and gave them Highgarden.
Well, after Dany breaks the wheel and it's all lollipops and balloons at the end, that she's going to give Sam House Tarly and bring back House Baratheon and give it to Gendry. It's going to be all balloons and lollipops.
What about like some Tarly bread from Hot Pie? Maybe we can get some of that.
Dude, they were a pile of ash. Like, you notice after they burnt, they're like, there's nothing but a pile. Even their armor was burnt.
This is true. James, your thoughts on this particular part of the scene?
Well, yeah, I did have the same. I wasn't have the same quip about how Dany was born on Dragonstone, but aside from that, I wrote in my notes, Dany equals no POWs, and her logic was that she won't put anyone in chains again. Well, you couldn't just keep them in a pen unchained, and just keep them in a big field or something that's caged off or something. But I don't really. I didn't like this particular, the way she handled it, I guess. I guess I just don't believe in that. Oh, I'm not going to keep anyone in chains, so I'm going to give them the permanent chains of death. I don't know. I didn't agree with that logic. But hey, it is what it is. She did.
Maybe she shouldn't have given that ultimatum. But I think once she gave that ultimatum, like bend the knee or die, and they didn't bend the knee, you got to follow through, or else you look weak.
Well, yeah, she does. She does have to do that. But I didn't like the fact. Well, she said that she's not going to put people. She said, I spent my life taking people out of chains. I'm not going to put people in them. So her logic is either join me or I kill you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. I get what you're saying. She should have thought things before,
If you're not with me, you're my enemy.
She's going George Bush.
All right, well, let's move on to Jaime making it back to King's Landing. He gets there. He tells Cersei about what happened in the battle, and then afterwards he tells her, "Look, we not only can we not win this, but you've been mad at Tyrion for the wrong reasons for the longest time now, and been trying to hunt him down over this." And I found it kind of interesting that Cersei did not believe him, but I think we kind of already figured that she wouldn't. And then B, that she, kind of dressed down Jaime a little bit. She was like, "Hey, I shouldn't have listened to you about any of this." So I felt that was kind of interesting, just in terms of, why is it that she was so insistent on wanting Olenna Tyrell to die in such a horrible manner before she knew anything about, her murdering Joffrey. So, Jerry, I'll start you off with this one.
Well, I mean, it still baffles me that they were able to walk from the battlefield all the way back, well, it wasn't that far, but back to King's Landing without any trouble. But Cersei. Yeah, you knew she wasn't gonna believe. Although I think she did at the end, and then that's why she said, "Oh, you didn't make her scream in agony." Of course, she doesn't acknowledge that she was wrong, but that makes sense for the Cersei character. Cersei pretty much acted in character. This was mainly a fine scene. I don't know why she said that Tywin sat on the throne. He never sat on the throne. But other than that, this is a fine scene. Don't really have any issue with it. I thought it was mostly done pretty good. Other than kind of weird that they let even Jamie get there. But yeah, I thought this was overall a good scene.
All right, LT.
I don't know if I'm skipping ahead, but this is the same scene where Jamie mentions Cersei reveals something to him, or no? Am I skipping ahead?
No, this is the one where he tells that Tyrion didn't kill Joffrey, and then it was Olenna.
Okay, yeah. Well, I always wondered, like if she knows that he didn't, but then still mentions father or whatever. But yeah, it was. I agree. Jerry, fine scene.
All right, James.
In my notes I wrote, Jamie makes it to King's Landing by magic? ? I don't know. I'd like to know how he was able to. It would have been cool to maybe even see a scenes of him evading people to get there or whatever. But, it was cool. It was a fine scene. Seeing Jamie laying it down like, yo, shit's getting real, and you need to realize that we're not going to be on the winning side of this. And of course, the reveal that Tyrion didn't kill Joffrey. Obviously, we see the look on Cersei's face at first. It's incredulous, he fucking killed her, or he fucking killed, or she killed. He killed him. What the hell are you talking about? But of course, I think that his logical reasons made sense to her, and maybe she accepted it, but we still know that she's never going to forgive Tyrion for anything. So, yeah, it was a cool scene. It was fine. It wasn't cool, but it was fine.
I got something I wanted to say. So there was no mention of the scorpion being broken. If I'm Jamie or if I'm Cersei, this is what I would do. I would tell Qyburn, okay, if Euron can make 1,000 ships in few time, I would tell her, put fucking scorpions on each tower of the fucking castle. If you have yeah, I'm serious. You have 20
you're
of
right,
them.
LT.
Yeah, you have 20 or 30 of them. Those dragons are coming, and they're shooting at them from all sides. Those dragons are finished. We saw what it did to Drogon. I guess they don't think like I do, but yeah, I would have told Qyburn, mass produce, over amount of what we need. Say 20, no, make me 30 or 40 of them, and just have them ready to go. That's what I would do.
That would make too much sense.
Listen,
it should be the hand of the king.
It makes sense, but at the same point, if the dragons are maneuverable enough, then the scorpions aren't going to matter. Remember what Jamie said to Cersei? He was like, look, he shot a scorpion bolt the size of you and still took down the damn scorpion right after that. So, look, I think we can give him a pass on not mass producing the scorpions, only for the fact that Jamie mentioned that the scorpions are practically going to be useless.
I think actually there's probably more scorpions that they just only showed one. I think there's still more.
There might be more. We haven't heard mention of any other than that original, but yeah, it's just one of those things where if we're going by what Jamie said to Cersei, then them adding extra scorpions, they would probably have to have maybe 30 or 40 scorpions, and then hope that the archers or whoever's aiming those are as good as Bronn. And remember, Bronn only got one of them off that actually hit Drogon.
Dude, well, look at the time. They're not even okay. They're wasting all this time doing whatever we're seeing they're doing. So they got time. They got time to have Bronn teach a class on all 20 or 30 of them to do it. I mean, they're just not going to. But I'm just saying, that's what I would do. And I'd also try and make some werewood arrows to shoot at the dragons.
Maybe that's what they're gonna do with this. Well, we're skipping ahead, but maybe that's one of her plans that she was talking about later. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So we move on to the next scene.
Yeah. All right. So, next we get Jon. Like after Daenerys returns, Jon actually gets to touch Drogon, and the look in her eyes is like she just fell in love. Which I don't know if any of the rest of you got that vibe, but I did. Then Daenerys asked Jon about the whole thing about him getting stabbed in the heart, to which Jon, kind of, I don't know why he's been so resistant about telling people about this, but maybe there will be a reason why he hasn't been telling people. And it could have to do with the whole Fire White thing. And then we get the return of Ser Jorah Mormont. So, James, I know that you actually, had some thoughts about the Jorah Mormont scene, so I want to get you first on this one.
Yeah, to me, this was kind of the worst scene of the episode, in my opinion. First off, obviously the point of the Jon and Drogon interaction is just to show, obviously, that we all know that he's got dragon blood in him. But I felt like it's dumb. Like, so Dany, she knows that Drogon's dangerous. What would have happened right there? Would she have risked actually swooping in on Drogon and then letting him stand in front of Jon for like 2 minutes, risking Drogon fucking eating his ass, eating the King of the North and making yourself an instant enemy with the North? To me, that felt dumb, but it was whatever. It is what it is. They were trying to show that Jon has dragon blood in him, obviously. And then the whole Jorah thing. I mean, I got diabetes watching that, man. Like it was just so syrupy and sugary, and it was a cheese factory. I don't know what they're trying to do with this, with Jorah and Dany now. Like I don't know what they're trying to do with their relationship, what they're trying to showcase here, but I don't got much to say other than that.
All right, so we'll take it to the ladies' man himself, Sir LT. How did you feel about Jon, Dany, dragons, Jorah? Go.
I see that logic James is saying about that, but I don't care. I love this. I love the fact that he touched Drogon. I thought when Drogon was looking at him, it just shows that Jon's the man and the true hero of the story. Like I've said since Hardhome. And it's just, he's the king of the North. He's the hero of the story, and he's badass. And the dragon feels that. And it's Targaryen blood. And Jorah, whatever. It's great to see him back. He's kind of, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on Jorah. I don't know if I really like him or I dislike him. I feel I'm in between with him. But yeah, that was whatever. But I love that scene. I thought it was awesome.
And the hater of all things fan service, Jerry, your thoughts?
Well, I mean, we should have expected this because, the dragon's like Bron Ben Plum, and he only has a little bit of dragon blood, so you would assume someone like Jon would get some dragon, favorable affection. So, but it was kind of weird how I guess that's how a dragon does things. They come up and snarl at you and looks like they're giving you shit when really they just want you to pet them and, take care of them. I'm like, what the hell? Oh. And then, I did notice some lovey eyes from Dany on the Jon, but then I also noticed some fucking lovey eyes with Dany and Jorah. I'm like, what?
I know. I thought she was gonna kiss him for a minute there.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
I thought so too. I'm like, what is it? Are they trying to do a love triangle here? What's going on here? What is going on here? Like, I was just like, oh my god.
So anyone thinking that Jorah is gonna stab Jon in the back when they go up north and like, the queen is mine?
No, I don't think they're doing that.
He's gonna be like, for the watch.
I wonder if I actually wonder if he ever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I was thinking in my head anyway, since he was going up north, which surprised me. That I haven't got there yet, but I mean, are they setting him up maybe to be? I mean, I don't even know if the Night's Watch going to survive, but I was thinking maybe they would set him to be LC, obviously taking his father's mantle, but I don't know. But I did think that when Danny asked him if, how he got cured of his grayscale, I thought he was going to name drop Sam Tarly in front of Jon Snow, and they were going to have, a nice little convo about that. But I assume they're going to have that kind of bonding convo in this next episode.
I already forgot. Did he even mention Samwell Tarly? Did Sam even say, my name is Samwell Tarly, or did he just say, hey, my name's Sam, I'm here at the Citadel?
I'm sure that they'll bring it up.
Yeah, it'll probably be something later, Yeah, it'll probably be something later. I mean, even if he didn't mention his name, the description of him is pretty obvious. Jon will know what Sam looks like as soon as he tells him, like, oh yeah, it was this kid who said that he used to be part of Night's Watch. Oh, okay, that was Sam. All right, cool. So they didn't really have to go into too much exposition about that anyway. All right, so let's move along. We get Bran walking into Ravens and seeing the army of the dead by Eastwatch. The Night King sees him, and Bran is like, oh, holy shit. He jumps right out of that Raven. He sends a Raven to the Citadel, informing the Maesters about what he saw. The Maesters are like, hogwash, we don't believe it. Until, Sam talks about what he saw. He tries to convince the Maesters that, look, this is real. I saw the army of the dead. I know who Bran Stark is. And they chalk it up to Daenerys possibly sending a ploy to get the armies to leave the South so she can have a better chance of invading. The Maesters have gone beyond dumb at this point because she just won. Like, they mentioned after Sam left that, isn't he the son of Randyll Tarly? So they have to know that Daenerys already controls the Reach at this point because she just beat Randyll Tarly and Jaime Lannister. So there's no reason for her to invade the part that she pretty much already controls right now. But there was one thing that I caught that I don't know if the rest of you guys caught, and that was the reference to Jenny of Oldstones. So, Jerry, we're gonna have you go first on this one.
Well, first thing is when Bran was skin changing into those ravens, what has he been watching like this whole time? Why wasn't he monitoring beyond the wall this whole time? Why was he? Seems like he was looking at this side. You should be looking at the other side if you're trying to find, the others in the White Walkers. I was like, huh? Wait, what? I guess they just wanted dramatic effects of the Raven going towards them. Which, just a side note here, that actually was going to be the original opening of Game of Thrones. Like, how you see the map? It was going to be a Raven that goes through the map originally in the opening before they changed it to what we all know now. And so Sam, why the fuck did Sam wait this long to even mention that there were others and whites in there? And then, the stupidity of these guys is just, baffling. Like, how...
But guys, no, hold on. He mentioned it to Ebros before. He mentioned about seeing the White Walkers. And in fact, he said, I've been telling people around the Citadel, and no one believes me. And remember, Ebros told him, I believe you, but I basically don't give a fuck.
Okay, so he believes him. So Ebros is even stupider than I thought. So not only he believes him, he's got a second party saying that they're here, and he's just like, cool. So he's even dumber than we thought. And I don't get this Daenerys point. Like, Ravens are set to, certain, they can only go they can only go between one place and another. So they would know that Raven came from Winterfell. They wouldn't be like, they wouldn't suspect that it would be like, oh, maybe this was a Raven from Dragonstone, and they're just saying it's from Winterfell. No. So, these Maesters are just fucking stupid.
I mean, well, it depends if they know whether or not that Jon went to Dragonstone.
Or they would... No, because it came from Winterfell.
No, but what I'm saying is,
unless the Maesters will be like, John sent a raven from Dragonstone to Winterfell, and Winterfell sent it to, maybe if they're thinking that, then yeah, they're just getting way convoluted. And they're stupid.
could be. All right, James, you're up.
I mean, I don't have much to add upon that, but it does seem like, to me, the vibe I was getting was that these old men, these 70, 80-year-old men, they were essentially hazing Sam with their insults and remarks, because right after Sam leaves, their demeanor instantly changes. So to me, it tells me that they were like hazing him with just insults for, I don't know, they're 80-year-old men. I don't know why they'd be hazing a young man. But yeah, to me, that was the essence I got out of it. But yeah, aside from that, I mean, I pretty much agree with what Jerry said. Not much else to say.
James, I'm disappointed in you because you're quick to point out the bad CGI with the dragons, but you're not going to point out the bad CGI with these ravens in the beginning of the scene. That was bad CGI. Like, I could tell right off the bat that those ravens were CGI. I'm disappointing you, James.
That didn't bother me that much. And it's not all the CGI of the dragons that bothered me. It's just when Dany is riding Drogon. That's the only CGI that bothers me. It looks never-ending story like from the 80s.
Yeah, I got nothing much to add. I did notice Don Willie, the Jenny Olsen's. Did he say Ghost of High Heart too, or did he just say? Yeah, he did say Ghost of High Heart, right? He said Jenny Olstones and Ghost of High Heart, right?
I think he would. I don't remember if he said both or if they tried to conflate one for being the other. But I think he said the woman from High Heart who says she's half Children of the Forest. Like, oh, what was her name? Oh, was it Jenny of Oldstones? So I think that's what they said, but I could be wrong. And I know he definitely said Jenny of Oldstones claimed to be half Child of the Forest or whatever. But they might have been conflating both of those stories together.
Yeah, that's a nod to the book readers.
So, all right, so next up we get Tyrion and Varys talking about Dany's methods of execution and how she deals with people who won't kneel. And Tyrion is saying, like, look, I tried talking to her, she won't listen, and basically, it's not my fault if she's up here doing all this crazy shit, because I can't stop her. And Varys is kind of like, well, look, I said the same thing when the Mad King was burning people, and we don't want Daenerys to become the Mad King, so yeah, we got to find some way of doing something about her mad streak, because let's be honest, as much as a lot of people like to say Daenerys is a hero, Daenerys really kind of has a sadistic look in her eyes every now and then, especially right before she's about to burn people. She looks pretty satisfied with burning people sometimes. After this, Jon reads the Raven Scroll, and he's like, look, I gotta go back north. This is really getting out of hand right now. And Tyrion is like, hey, you know what? Look, if you want this whole thing to work where everybody gets together on the same page, you should, either send someone north of the wall to go bring back a white. Let's see here. Also, we have Jorah, who volunteers to go. Tyrion and Davos said they're going to go to King's Landing to try to get a message to Cersei about being, so they can present a white from beyond the wall. And yeah, that's pretty much what we got from this scene here. And Daenerys, for whatever reason, when Jon said that he was going to go north of the wall himself, the look of worry on her face, like, wait, no, you can't go. And then she's like, I didn't give you permission to leave. They're heavily foreshadowing the whole Dany and Jon romance. So, LT, I'll let you take this one since you are the ladies' man.
Yeah, definitely. It reminded me when Tyrion and Varys were in the throne room at Dragonstone. It kind of reminded me of Varys and Littlefinger or Varys and Oberyn, talking in the throne room. But like, really, what Tyrion's not going to stop her. She's going to continue to burn people, or Tyrion tried giving her advice, and she's just going to do what she wants anyways. And I wonder, like, will Daenerys not look at Jon the same if she finds out she's his aunt? Will she be like, okay, I can't feel about him that like that, because he's my aunt. I mean, in the story, if you look at the story, Targaryens married brother and sister. They didn't marry aunts. I mean, cousins, but not.
That's not true. Daemon and Rhaenyra.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, very. That's one. Find me another one. That's one.
Aegor and Daemon Blackfire's daughter.
Okay, that's two. Find me another one.
All it takes is one.
I'm just saying that aunt. Okay, well, all right. Well, I'm just saying majority of it was brother and sister.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I think she could possibly feel grossed out by it.
All right. Let's see here. Eeny, meeny, miny, JB.
All right, let me consult my notes here. Okay, so in the first scene between Tyrion and Varys, because that happened before the council, right? I think you could kind of see that. I know Teflon came out with a video about Tyrion betraying Dany. I kind of had little hints that maybe Tyrion's starting to have a little bit of doubts with maybe Dany's methods. So maybe Teflon's onto something. I haven't actually watched the video, so I don't know how it's outlined, but maybe something happens out of that. My question is, why does Jon think Bran is dead? Because, well, remember when he got the letter, he said he thought Bran was dead. I could recall that he knew that Bran was alive.
No, he knew that Bran went north of the wall. But
well, he knew he was alive at that point, at least.
Right, but I mean, you got to figure at that point it's been years.
Okay, yeah, okay, I can buy that. I like the callback to Davos's, I'm not a fighter line. He said a couple seasons ago, or last season, actually. And yeah, Dany is coming on thick with the lovey eyes to Jon. It's like, they're not even trying to hide it. Like, they're not even trying to be subtle about it. They're beating us in the head with a sledgehammer, with Gendry's hammer. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. I thought that was. I have to go back and listen to, because I was kind of confused on what their plan was at first, but I think I kind of got it throughout the whole episode. But yeah, it was a fine scene.
Jerry,
I don't know what they're fucking trying to do with this fucking plans of these. Like, the writers, they're trying to push some bullshit like message that you don't have to win with warriors and fighting and battles. You can just send flowers and candies over and they'll bend the knee. You don't need to do, like, I don't know what they're thinking with this. And they're just, like, everyone's taking stupid pills on Stanny's side. She's the only one who's like, well, except for Olenna, but she's gone now. Yeah, I mean, just do what fucking Aegon did. If she would have just done what Aegon did, she would have the Red Keep right now. She would have the world. There would be less lives lost. It would be over. Just everyone's fucking retarded in this. It's all because they're trying to send some bullshit message with this. I have enough with those people. Let's talk about, okay, so, yeah, the room. It's kind of hilarious. It's still hilarious to me that Tyrion is the one making the suggestion to go bring a white back when, we are considering they brought him a white hand and he was like, no. I'm not going to see Alistair Thorne because he's a dick. I don't care if he has a dead man's hand.
That didn't happen in the show.
It did happen in the show, and after the show episodes, Weiss actually acknowledged that they brought the hand, although he left out that Tyrion was being stupid as fuck. But yeah, it did happen in the show.
I'd have to relook at that because I don't remember that in the show.
Well, I'm telling you, the fucking DB Weiss actually said it after the episode. Yeah, they brought a hand. So
it is what it is.
Yeah, and yeah, of course I agree with everyone about the fucking Dany thing.
But they mentioned. I was gonna say they mentioned the hand, but they never show it. Like you don't see the hand.
Yeah, but I mean, if the D&D are saying that they took it, then they took it in the show. So, but yeah, it was a stupid thing to say by Danny, like saying you can't leave, but it was because the little lovey eyes. She was just like, no, he can't leave. Think of something quick to say to make him stay. I'm giving you permission to leave. I want you to leave. And yeah, I think he mentioned Ghost too. He like, yeah, I left Ghost behind. So wait, no, Severin.
No, someone else mentioned Ghost. And
someone else mentioned. I think it's in the next scene. Someone mentioned.
Yeah, it's actually in the next scene. So let's move on to that next one. So the Northern Lords and also the Knights of the Vale want Sansa to rule because Jon has been gone. The King of the North should be in the North, but Sansa is like, nope. Look, Jon is the king. Let's trust him. He'll be back. Let's not hit him with the bullshit just yet. Arya actually was happy about this because she had been kind of sensing that Sansa, might have won power. But then later on, when they're, walking towards the old Lord's chamber and she realizes that, oh, this is where Sansa is staying right now. And she realizes that Sansa does actually still want the power and that she might be willing to stab Jon in the back to get it. And it's funny, I remember telling people at the end of last season, the look on Sansa's face when Littlefinger looked at her when they were yelling King of the North at Jon, I'm like, yo, she is not too happy about this. She is going to cause problems for Jon, and people said I was stupid and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, so fuck all you. Anyway, yeah, so, let's take it to JB. Your thoughts on this scene with Arya and Sansa?
Don Will, you are stupid as fuck and don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, I'm just kidding. You said that people were saying that to you. I don't agree with that. But, when it comes down to it, I think that they're just doing this to build. They need to have tension here for some reason. Obviously, we see it playing out later with Littlefinger. They're just building up tension. I guess working with old Jaqen over there gave Arya mind reading powers apparently. But yeah, so I mean I don't have much to say other than the fact that this is just fabricated tension. Obviously, it's going to play out in the next episode. They showed in the preview that there's going to be more tension between these two, and that we know in the end how it's going to end up. It's going to probably blow up in Littlefinger's face, and they'll all sing Kumbaya at the fire. But right now, this is just tension they need to build up the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's seeming like. Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, James is completely right. They're completely fabricating some stuff. I mean, Arya is basically saying, yeah, I think you're trying. I mean, she might not be wrong, but apparently she's figuring out that Sansa wants power by, ruling the king, ruling him by not, fucking murdering and killing people. Like, what? How did she come to that conclusion from that? Like, because Sansa isn't like hanging people and killing people and stuff, she's like, oh, well, that means you want power. Like, huh? It's totally fabricated. It's okay. We're about to see what a Dan and Dave Littlefinger scheme, Dan and Dave original Littlefinger scheme looks like. Here we go. This is the first of it.
I mean, we'll see what happens with that one. Yeah, I mean, look, with the whole Arya thing, remember, I think her training now is supposed to be able that, not that she can read minds, but I think that she could read the unease in Sansa's face. And when she, she's picking up on clues. You
Why
know,
was
she's
she telling her to
wearing.
do things like not try and like, make peace with people? Why is she saying stupid shit like that?
I mean, well, listen, Arya is a bloodthirsty killer right now. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is kind of showing the difference in strategy for how they, if Arya was the ruler, if the Knights of the Vale get on her nerves, she just beheads their leader and puts somebody else in their place. Where Sansa, was trying to kind of take a cue from John about the whole diplomatic approach to things. So
Yeah,
this is
but
this
that
is
doesn't
just
make
kind
any
of.
sense. That doesn't make her implication of Sansa make any sense. Like, just because you're a merciful ruler doesn't mean that you're plotting to take over. That makes no sense. That's completely fabricated by the show that they're trying to do that. Other than she's a mind reader, maybe if she would have brought up like, hey, she did kind of bring it up a little bit, but maybe they would have only focused on, hey, you like the parents thing. Hey, I noticed your voice is changing when you're doing this. Hey, I've noticed how your eyes move. If they would have focused on that, then that would be okay. But her saying like, oh, because you're not killing people, you want to take over, that makes no fucking sense.
I mean, I get what you're saying. Like I'm gonna go back and rewatch the episode anyway to see if there's anything else that I might have that I might pick up personally. But uh, yeah, like I said, I'll have to do some more analysis. But LT, I want to get to you before we move on to whatever the next scene is. What did you think about the Arya and Sansa dynamic in this particular scene?
Arya looks like spooky to me, man, in that scene, like the way her eyes look. And then we're not talking about when she's creeping on Littlefinger yet, right? We
Not
haven't
yet.
got there yet. Okay, damn. Okay,
No, it's a
yeah,
little
all right,
later.
that's it. Then I'm good. Arya's just crazy eyes, whatever, and I guess like you said, she could read her. Um, and yeah, I ain't got much to say about that.
All right, cool, cool. All right, so after this, we get Tyrion and Davos making it to King's Landing. They're both going their separate ways. Davos actually brings up the fact because people have mentioned this before, like, hey, when Tyrion and Davos first met, why did Davos not say anything about his son being killed at Blackwater? Here we go. We get a mention of it. So,
Get an acknowledgement. We don't get a reaction. We get an acknowledgement of it, though. Halfway there.
oh,
Good
God,
job, guys.
God damn it, Jerry. Anyway, uh, listen, at least they actually mentioned it. They could have not said anything about it, but they did, all right? God damn it. Anyways, so Jamie and Tyrion meet in secret, which was facilitated by Bronn. Uh, look, Jamie, even though he knows that Tyrion did not kill Joffrey, he's still pissed off about what happened with Tywin, and rightfully so. So Tyrion is trying to tell Jamie, look, man, I've been tortured all my life. I did what I had to do, and we get a cutaway, and we'll get back to what he actually told him was the reason for that meeting later. But then after that, we get Davos, who goes to the Street of Steel, and we get Gendry. Gendry is back, and he said he's been working all this time preparing. He doesn't know what he's preparing for, but he knew it was something special. And when Davos tells him to grab a sword, he's like, nope, I'm better with this. And it is Robert Baratheon's Warhammer, or at least it is a Warhammer fashioned after Robert's hammer, and it has the Baratheon sigil on it. Uh, man, so how are we feeling about Tyrion and Jamie meet up under the Red Keep? And also, let's talk about Gendry back with the Warhammer, and also smashing the shit out of two Lannister guards, or not even Lannister guards, but gold cloaks right at the edge of the city. And LT, you can take this one first.
Yeah, I thought it was really emotional with Jamie and Tyrion's, their thing. I actually thought that when Bronn was leading Jamie down there, I honestly thought he was gonna like that there was gonna be more scorpions down there, and he was gonna somehow like give Jamie training on it with one hand or something. I don't know. That's what I thought. But yeah, I guess Gendry wasn't rowing for all these seasons. He just went to King's Landing, and he's there. That's pretty crazy that he's there the whole time. You know. Now I don't think that's Robert's Warhammer, because what did Gendry go in the Red Keep and jacket or something? Because I'm pretty sure, the Warhammer is in the Red Keep still in King's Landing, because I mean that's where it was buried. And so what did Gendry sneak in? If that is Robert's Warhammer, Gendry snuck in there and snatched it, and nobody saw him. No, I think it's just a replica of it. Maybe he made it and he knew the sigil, so he was a great ass smith, so he just made a little mini Warhammer. I think Robert's Warhammer was a lot bigger than that one, and I don't think Gendry could lift it.
Sorry about that. Was muted. Yeah. Now that I think about it, um, like if you go on what is it, ValerianSteel.com, where they make all the replicas of the weapons from the show, they do have Robert's Warhammer, and it looks different than that. But I guess he decided he is going to claim his Baratheon heritage and decided to make that hammer with the Baratheon symbol on it. But James, your take on the meeting with Tyrion and Jamie, and also the return of Gendry with his new mighty Warhammer.
So either way, they were going to have a logical fallacy in the scene. Because one, my first thought was, why the fuck are they smuggling the most wanted dwarf in all of Westeros in the daylight, in the King's Landing? Like, that was such a bad logical fallacy to me. But then I was like, okay, if they brought him in at night, they couldn't have the Gendry scene, because why the fuck would Gendry be blacksmithing at night? So they had to have it during the day. Whatever. Okay, the dialogue between Tyrion and Davos I liked. The whole scene between Jamie and Tyrion was fine. But it was logical fallacy that they would smuggle him in during daylight. I don't know if you can deny that. Now, when it comes to the Gendry scene, so you're supposed to tell me that these people saw Thabo Mott getting his head dunked into water and shit to tell him where Gendry went. So all of these blacksmiths, or all these people in this area, see Gendry come back, know that if they turn him in, they probably get a large sum of money or reward or something. These are poor people living in these parts. But they're like, they know that he was questioned for Gendry, but do nothing about it. Or Thabo Mott doesn't do anything about it. I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean,
I will say that
I was just gonna say maybe Thabo Mott is not in the city anymore. Maybe there was some reason why he decided, you know what, King's Landing is no longer for me.
Well, either way, you'd think that there'd be people in that around, they'd have shops around that area that would have known the situation and would have seen it in their poor themselves, and they would have turned him in, I would think. But aside from that, it's whatever. I did actually kind of enjoy the scene with Davos, using his smuggler's charm to try and bribe his way out of it, and then obviously I knew the whole time that those guards were going to die because Gendry kept looking at the hammer, and we knew we had to see him use it. So yeah, I actually, once I got past the logical fallacies, I enjoyed just that particular scene at the end, just because I'm a Davos fan. I'd like to see him try to talk his way out of things, see how maybe he would used to do it. And then, of course, we had to see Gendry, we had to see what he could do with the Warhammer. They were kind of setting it up, so it is what it is. But there is a lot of logical fallacies in this whole section.
Jerry, tell us how this all sucked.
Well, I mean, I agree with every logical fallacy that James just pointed out. I was going to point out the same thing, but also apparently, I don't think he just went back to King's Landing, because I think he rode all the way to Braavos, got that same training that Arya did, because he's a fucking master fighter now with the hammer. He saw him, he just like, so then he rode back to King's Landing. So he went and got that training, then he's back. at least as far as the Jamie Tyrion scene, I did like that scene. I thought that was a good scene. I thought it was good that Tyrion finally acknowledged and said, "Hey, I killed Tywin, but what did you want me to do? He was going to execute me. He knew I was innocent. What did you like? I think he should have pointed out a little bit more. What did you want me to do? What else could I have done? Left me no choice. But at least he kind of brought it up. So I thought that was pretty good. And back to the logical fallacies, especially with Gendry. Why did Davos even, other than for the Samurai 7, Avengers Assemble, what was the point of even going to get Gendry in the first place? It's like, we need another muscle? No, because later he's like, huh? You fight? Huh? What? No, you can't go in dangerous place. He really didn't know anything about Gendry other than he was the son of Robert and the bastard son of Robert, and he's set free. And yeah, I don't understand what the point of him from his perspective, why he would even go and bother to get Gendry other than want to bring back Gendry. Writers, gotta bring him back. Avengers Assemble. Samurai 7. Yeah. And it was kind of funny that they did they made a rowing joke. He's like, I thought you were still rowing this whole time. They did take it does seem that they pay attention what some of the jokes the fandoms make. So, yeah, and Gendry, he seemed a little bit too overzealous too. And you'll see this throughout the episode. He kind of reminded me of Paul Rudd in Civil War, where they just bring him in. He's like, I'm excited to be here, guys. Let's do this. Come on. Yeah.
Well, he hasn't been on camera since season 4, 5. So he's excited, dude.
I'm pretty sure.
So is that why Gendry was excited? Like, yeah, y'all brought a camera with me. Yeah, I'm ready.
When we talk about it later, because I wanted to do the predictions of the deaths of the Samurai 7 next that we think doesn't happen next episode. But I do think Gendry has pretty heavy plot armor. I do think that they're bringing him back in now, and I think it's going to be one of those things where after Dany breaks the wheel, that he's going to get House Baratheon. That's what I think that is being built up here. I don't know if anyone else thinks that, but that's what I kind of think. That's why they had Davos come in, because Davos has obviously been with House Baratheon with Stannis. Obviously, that I think Davos is going to become a mentor to him, but we'll see.
I mean, it's very possible. LT, did you speak on this one or no?
Well, I was just going to say, Jerry. To be fair, it probably takes way less skill to wield to swing a warhammer than it does a sword. And you're saying Gendry?
I don't really know. I can't really say. I don't know.
I'm just assuming. I think because it's like swinging a bat. I mean, it's not. There's more skill.
A lot of training. What are you talking about?
Oh my god!
In Skyrim, it takes the same amount of points to go up in Warhammer as it does in the sword.
Well, this ain't Skyrim, gentlemen. This is Game of Thrones. Okay. All right. So let's move it along. All right. So look, next up, we get Jaime telling Cersei about his meeting with Tyrion. Cersei says that she already knows, and I'm guessing this is from Qyburn's Little Birds. And she's like, all right, well, cool. Yeah, look, all the whole stuff with Daenerys or whatever, cool. This actually puts me in a good position anyway. We can build up our forces while there's peacetime. And plus, I has baby, me pregnant. So, yeah, pretty interesting. And she said that she was going to tell everyone that Jaime was the father. She don't care. The Targaryens can do it, so can the Lannisters. So, James, your thoughts on this scene between Jaime and Cersei?
My main thought was this. Man, they put that baby in Cersei to make it that much more tragic when the father of that baby chokes the life out of Cersei. Just think about how much more tragic that becomes when Jaime is the Valonqar and chokes Cersei out and he kills Cersei with his own baby inside. That was my thought. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on that, but aside from that, I don't have much else to say. I mean, we're seeing Cersei's hubris still. Like, she's still, to me, she has too much, I don't know, confidence. I mean, she thinks that they're so much cleverer than she is. I mean, she talks about how we're going to do things Father's way. We're going to be clever. We're going to, do this and that and be successful. And I'm just like, okay, you're probably going to end up, well, like I said, I think that Jamie's going to end up choking her out, but we'll see. I mean, I'm still not happy with the Jamie character on the show. It's just, I don't know. I'm just ready for him to progress, and it's just not happening. I mean, we've been waiting for it since like season 3. I don't know what else to say. It is what it is.
All right, Jerry.
The only thing I have to say is they should name either the baby. They should name it either Gendry or Tyrion. And Cersei will have a trueborn son named Gendry.
Okay. Wow. Taking shots there. Sounds like you're taking shots at somebody, but we'll leave that for another time. LT.
Yeah, when James said it, it's more tragic, definitely, because I wouldn't mind if Cersei dies, but now that she's pregnant, that definitely makes me feel bad for her if she does die.
All right, so moving right along, we have Gendry and Davos making it back to Dragonstone. Gendry automatically introduces himself, even though Davos is like, hey, you gotta, stay low key. And it looks like Jon and Gendry kind of become instant buddies. It's like, hey, our fathers were best friends. We can be best friends. You got a sword.
We just become best friends?
Your father had a sword. I got a warhammer. My father had a warhammer. Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
Oh, man. So Tyrion and Jorah kind of reminisce on, their adventures. Tyrion still has the coin that he was given by the slaver when he was like, hey, free me, and I'll help you out. He gives that to Jorah as a good luck charm and is like, hey, make sure to bring that back. And then we get the party that departs for the north. So, James, I want to get your thoughts first on this particular one here.
I mean, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed their little repartee that they had. I mean, it is what it is. One thing I wish, if you just had if we would have had 10 episodes, we actually could have had. And this has been a problem the whole series, where we're not getting these journeys from place to place. If we would have got the journey from Dragonstone back to Eastwatch by the Sea, then you could have character progression on the boat. You could have Jon and Gendry, they do have a reason to bond, essentially. They're both bastards of fathers who are friends with each other. I mean, they do have a reason to bond. And then you can start getting into stories and showing a progression of friendship that way. But they have to accelerate things so quickly because they've shortened the season 1 and they just cut out all the journeys, which is a shame. It's a shame, but, I enjoyed their little repertoire that they had. Gendry calling him short, calling the King of the North short. But it is what it is. I just wish that they would prolong this longer so we could have better logical character progression. But other than that, I was fine with it.
Okay, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, I was basically fine with it. I mean, technically it did kind of make sense for them to, have a lot in common and be friends. I guess that was, that kind of was an actor joke, Jon saying he's shorter than Ned. I don't think that's actually true in the books because Jon's actually supposed to be tall and slender, where Ned was an average height man, whereas, Sean Bean is big and tall and even taller than the guy who played Robert Baratheon, and Jon or Kit Harington's pretty short. So other than that, I thought it was a good scene.
Sir LT.
Yeah, I agree. It was a cool scene. It was funny how Davos was telling him not to say that, and he comes right out with it. That made me crack up laughing, and it was a pretty cool scene.
Yeah, that's true. He was really overzealous, and he's like, "So glad to be here. I'm here." he really did remind me of Paul Rudd's character in Civil War or Spider-Man in Civil War. Like, yeah, happy to be here, guys. Happy to be here. Be part of the team.
Let's go own some White
I mean,
Walkers.
listen, he wants to do his part for the war effort. You must let a man get his glory. Oh man! All right, so the next one up we got is Gilly and Sam. Sam is still transcribing and copying old scrolls into new books. He's kind of pissed off about it. Gilly is talking about not even Archmaester, a Septon, and all the stuff that he recorded. And apparently, this Septon has recorded an annulment from Rhaegar Targaryen to marry someone else. Sam does not pick up on it whatsoever. He's just kind of pissed off that he's telling the Maesters about the White Walkers, and they're like, hey, fuck what you talking about. He decides to go into the Citadel and steal everything he possibly can, and is like, you know what? Fuck this Citadel. Fuck Old Town. Fuck this High Tower. We're done. We out. So, LT.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say she mispronounced Rhaegar. It was like Rhaegar or something like that. She didn't say Rhaegar, and she didn't say Targaryen. And I was cringing when she said it because and Jerry, we talked about this a little bit before we started recording, but yeah, I was cringing because I wanted Sam to pick up on it, but Jerry reassured me that they're going to go back to this. But yeah, she did mispronounce the name. She didn't say it right, and he didn't say Targaryen. Did he say Targaryen or did he not? I don't think.
No, she just said a prince. Rhaegar.
Yeah.
So like, Sam was so frustrated by what happened earlier that he was like, and Sam, Sam usually doesn't get like that. I mean, we saw when he told Pip, he's like, Pip, open the fucking door. He doesn't get like that often, and he got really frustrated right there. So now I give him an excuse for not noticing it because he's just really frustrated.
All right, Jerry.
Well, this is not how you can't annul. This is not how it's going to happen in the book. So you can't annul marriages you couldn't annul a marriage like that. But it does confirm that they did get married either through they married under the old gods under a weirwood tree, which is I think is the most likely thing, or he just did some polygamy, which is technically allowed but kind of frowned upon the Seven. So either way, I think it's confirmed that in the books, Jon is not a bastard. It's not going to be quite like this, but at least in the book, it's confirmed. Or not confirmed, but I think this almost but confirms that there's going to be a marriage between Lyanna and Rhaegar somewhere. I mean, not like this, but something similar.
I mean, well, no, actually, if you think about it, remember originally, the reason why Renly knew about the whole incest between Cersei and Jaime, and he was trying to get the Tyrells to come to King's Landing. He was actually going to try to get Robert to annul the marriage between him and Cersei, so that she could.
I don't think he was trying to annul it. I think he was trying to set her aside.
That's what annulment is, though.
But I don't know if it was like that. I think it might have been more just another wife, like Maegor had multiple wives. Aegon had multiple wives.
Well, wouldn't Rhaegar need Aerys to annul it? I don't think he could do it himself, right? He would need the king.
You need a High Septon to really to actually annul it. I don't know why it's in this.
Right, but remember, this was in a High Septon's book.
Was it?
Yeah, this was the High Septon. This wasn't the Maester's book that she was reading. It was a Septon's book.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Anyway, James, your thoughts on the Sam Gilly scenes?
First off, I wanted to say rip to seeing Attorney of Harrenhal via Brand Vision. That has gone out the window. I was surprised that they kind of just slipped this in so casually, like it was nothing. And I'm willing to bet you that a lot of the casual fans, they didn't even pick up on anything. They don't know nothing about that. I bet they don't even understand what kind of how big of a bomb that was. Yeah, I mean, it was a huge bomb. I mean, what else can you say aside from that? We all kind. I always thought that was the case, but not in that exact manner. But I did think that John was legitimate. So, yeah,
Oh,
it's a big bomb.
by the way, us guys were talking about this over the weekend. We were talking about. I was telling y'all how D&D do subtlety. This is a perfect example of their subtlety. Just for anyone who wants to look deep into this, this is the level of subtlety that they really go into. This and transition scenes.
Well, we'll say, I mean, I hate to say in defense of those two fucks, but it's obviously not subtle to us. Like, this is a big bomb to us. We picked it up, but I will say to casual fans, like I know a lot of casual fans that don't even know who Rhaegar Targaryen is. So this will just be like, whoop, what the fuck were they even talking about? They won't even know what was going on. But to us, it obviously means something huge.
All right, cool. All right, so man.
Wait, I do have one thing to say that I forgot to mention. The Citadel music is fucking amazing. That's all I gotta say.
What about the sad Lannister music? What do you think of that? Like, it's the Reigns of Castamere, but it's sad. I forgot what scene that was.
Yeah, I mean, all the music, obviously, honestly, all the music in this episode's great. All the Dany music, the sad Reigns of Castamere, and the Citadel music was all great. Like I said, you can say anything about you want about D&D. Ramin Djawadi knows what he's fucking doing. So he's the true MVP of the whole series.
While the writing has been getting progressively worse, the music has been getting progressively better. It's like an inverse function between the writing and the music.
Do you guys think the Night's King knew that was Bran when he looked up?
I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know if he knew it was Bran, but he knew it was someone. He knew it was a skin changer. Sure. Anyways, enough track.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to next scene, we get Arya, who is spying on Littlefinger. She's following him around the castle because she's like, oh, he's up to something. It's Littlefinger. I know he's up to something. And he gets brought a scroll by Maester Wilkins, puts it in his room, and is like, hey, we sure this is the only copy? Yeah, okay, good. Thank you very much. Arya breaks into Littlefinger's room, looks for the scroll, reads the scroll, and sees that it was sent from King's Landing by Sansa. And I'm guessing that is the letter or the scroll that she wrote asking for Robb to come and bend the knee after Ned was captured.
No, that's exactly the one that she wrote. It says he's come swear fealty to King Joffrey. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously Arya is not going to be too pleased with that information because that's something that she was unaware of. But Arya thinking that she was being slick, Littlefinger knew the whole time that she was watching him, and basically this was a setup. And this is probably the first time in a very long time that we've seen Littlefinger be Littlefinger. Now we know where that scene was from in the trailer, because remember in the trailer there's that scene of him coming out of the shadows, and a lot of us thought that was in the Crypts of Winterfell, but nope, this is where it's from. Him setting up Sansa and Arya to play off against each other. So, Jerry, your thoughts about this one?
I'm not ready to say this is Littlefinger being Littlefinger yet. This is D&D trying their best to do an original Littlefinger. We'll see how smart this scheme ends up being. But so yeah, at first I thought when he got him, when he got the message, obviously he's doing something. First when I thought he got the message that it was the message that he had, what's her name, sent to King's Land, or not to Winterfell, Lysa. And and then just did a switch. That's what I thought at first. But maybe he was just setting this up the whole time, that he was just getting the one from what do you call it, from Sansa. Obviously, he's looking to try and play these two against each other, and that totally means that somehow he's gonna slip up. Can't wait to see what this slip up and what the reasoning for this slip up is gonna be, and then Arya is gonna kill him with the dagger. Obvious that that's gonna happen. So I'm guessing it's probably not going to be a very good Littlefinger scheme if that's going to be the end result.
Yeah, even though I want to see the bad man go out the moon door, it's seeming like they're setting it up for that not to happen. But
yeah, no doubt. In my opinion, he's going to do something real stupid and un-Littlefinger like, and then that's what they're going to be like. Yeah, we got him. Time to kill him. Fan service. Yeah.
Yes, and we know how much you love fan service, Jerry. But
Yeah,
all right, so LT, your thoughts on Littlefinger and Arya, cat and mouse?
How did Littlefinger not see Arya when she was watching and talking to the? Oh, well, okay, so he did that one time.
Yeah, he was
When
just
she's
playing
talking
it
to
like
the
he
girl?
wasn't. He didn't see her.
Okay, all right. Well, for when he looked, it showed her gone, so I felt like he didn't see her. But okay, yeah, he played it pretty well, but it's gonna be glorious, and I don't care if it's fan service or not. It's gonna be beautiful and epic when they do kill him because he's a slithering
No,
little
it's going to
snake.
be illogical and nonsensical.
Okay, that's your opinion, Jerry. I'm talking about my opinion. So why are you trying
Go
to? Are you saying I'm wrong, or you just don't agree with me? If you don't agree with me, that's fine.
I don't agree.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm saying my opinion. Can I have my opinion?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you. Now, in my opinion, it will be epic when he dies because he's a little snake. He's responsible for everything, and I'll love it, and I can't wait. So next,
Shall I go?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to
Oh,
unmute
boy.
myself. It wasn't working.
Okay, so I was just hoping the whole time. I was like, please, Littlefinger, be in the hallway and be at least on top of this. And he was. So if he wasn't, I really would have ripped this apart. But because I was like, man, they really like shitting on Littlefinger. But yeah, ultimately, like I said earlier, this is all to be tension between Sansa and Arya. They just need to have tension in Winterfell. Otherwise, what else are they gonna do? So, like, to me, I'm just trying to think in my head, like, what does he have to gain to have Arya and Sansa hate each other? Like, I don't see what he has to gain. What does
I
he
was
have to
thinking
gain?
that too.
Yeah,
I think they might be, Littlefinger might be doing. They're just making. This is the D&D Littlefinger. He's being sneaky for the sake of being sneaky. There's no real rhyme or reason for it. It's just D&D. We got to find a way to get Littlefinger caught like a Scooby-Doo villain. And
I just don't see the point. I don't see what he has to gain from these two fighting. I can see the reason why he would want to have Sansa, plant the seeds in Sansa to take over Jon's position, but I don't see what he has to gain from Sansa and Arya fighting. Ultimately, all it's going to end up with is Arya stabbing him in the face. So, I mean, I don't have much else to say other than that. I just don't see the reason why he's even doing it. But it is good to see that he's actually doing something. But I don't know if anyone else has a logical reason that you can enlighten me with why he would be pitting Sansa against Arya, but I don't see it.
there is not going to be. I told you it's going to be illogical and nonsensical. I just hope when it happens that Littlefinger looks at Bran and Arya and says, "Yeah, and I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids."
This is how I see it happening. I see, Bran's gonna show him the scene of Littlefinger getting behind Ned with the knife, and Arya's in the same thing, except she's gonna slowly slice through it.
Oh, that would be the ultimate fan service. That's exactly what's going to happen.
That's gonna happen, and you heard it here first, people.
But before she slices it, he's got to say, "I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids." Got to say that.
Hashtag callbacks. Because, I mean, it's...
Hashtag Scooby Squad.
No, but this season, remember, this season has been doing like a ton of callbacks. So yeah, that would be a callback to season 1, obviously. But it is what it is. And Jerry, God damn it, man, you're the reason why we can't have nice things. You know that, right?
Hey, man, keep it real.
Mhm.
Keep it logical.
Yeah. Jerry, stop being Jerry for like 2 seconds, right? Anyway, so John and company arrive at Eastwatch and make plans to go north with Tormund, a couple of other wildlings, and then we get the reintroduction of the Brotherhood without banners. And man, this was kind of an interesting scene because you have a lot of people there who do not like each other for whatever personal reasons. You got Gendry, who's basically like, oh, you Brotherhood without banners are bullshit. You guys sold me off to a red witch. You got Tormund, who doesn't like Jorah Mormont, basically because of his father. Uh, the Hound and John didn't have a contentious relationship, but the Hound. I mean, John did say that he remembers the Hound from him being at Winterfell, which episode 1. So yeah, this was a pretty interesting scene, and then right after that they go north of the Wall and they are ready to possibly go out and die. So LT, will get you first on this one.
Sorry about that. I'm getting ready for work. Anyways, yeah. Like I said, anytime Beric Dondarrion's in an episode of Game of Thrones, you guys already know what my score is going to be. Yeah, it was great to see all of them. There, the Samurai 7, if you want to call them that. And yeah, looking forward to. I just made what I said in my review. I recorded that this was basically a setup video. Sorry, setup episode. Wasn't too great. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad. Wasn't the best. Sorry, it wasn't the worst episode. Wasn't the best, and it was good to see all these guys together. And I'm looking forward to see what they do in the future.
Sorry, I was on mute talking. Forgot all about it about the fact that I wasn't on mute. All right, Jerry.
Yeah, so the Seven Samurai finally get together, and this is like a fucking trope at this point, where we got this fucking Avengers assemble. It's like all these when these, it's like a comic book. These comic book movies, like all of them, they try and when the team first gets together, there's like fighting. They're like, yeah, whatever. We don't like you. I don't like you. We're ticking time. I don't agree with that. We're a ticking time bomb or some kind of suicide squad or something. And then they finally come together and go forward. Wow. I didn't think D&D would go to this level of cheese to get these guys together. I mean, it would be okay. It would be fine if you were adapting something like this. But since you're adapting something like this, I'm like, I don't know about that. But whatever, we got Avengers Assemble. They're going to go up. They're going to kick some ass and do some shit. Totally set up episode for it. For the big battle that's coming in the next episode. So there we go. That's what I got to say.
So apparently, just remember, Jerry hates Avengers. Jerry hates heroes. Jerry hates teams, even though he's on one.
No,
anyway.
I don't hate teams. I'm saying if you did it in that universe, it's okay. But this is not that universe. This is not how this thing was set up. This is not how this story was set up.
I'm so confused. I don't even know what you're talking about right now, Jerry.
It's all good. James, Mr. Seven Samurai himself, your thoughts on the formation of the Seven Samurai?
Yeah, Seven Samurai was my first thought when I saw it. I was like, I counted all the people in the team. I was like, Seven Samurai. But, at this point, a lot of these characters in this group right here are characters that I like a lot better in the show than I do in the books, which is interesting. Because I like Sandor a hell of a lot better in the show than I do in the books. And I like Thoros of Myr better. I like Beric a little better. I like Tormund a lot better. So it's and it's kind of like as I said before, at this point I'm eating McDonald's. I'm not. I had before had the expectations that I was eating at a 4 or 5 star restaurant. I'm eating at McDonald's now, and and now you're giving me. I can see these guys go out and kick some ass. I'm okay with it now, because I know it's what I'm expecting. And you know what? I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. And like I said, I wanted to do a thing where we predict who's gonna come out alive out of all this. I loved. you got Barrick doing his whole, he's trying to do this 5-minute speech on the, on his god, and you got the Hound coming in just harsh as fuck, cutting him off. I like this Hound a lot, so I enjoyed the scene for what it was. Yeah, it's kind of schlocky, but hey, at this point, I'm at McDonald's. They're giving me a quarter pounder with cheese. It's what it is.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes good McDonald's can be good. It can be tasty and stuff, but when you start out at Morton's, you don't expect to go to McDonald's. Finish your meal.
Well, the thing is though, I know that I'm at McDonald's now. I'm not expecting a 5-star steak. I know I'm at McDonald's now, so I can accept it, and I'm cool with it.
Well, I disagree with you guys. I thought it was awesome.
Oh, like I said, I liked it. I liked it for what it was.
Listen, I actually liked it, Yeah, I like the scene personally, so whatevs, bro. Whatevs. Anyway, so James, I know that you wanted to do a prediction for how many or who would die. So we're gonna go around the horn and just get predictions for who is going to possibly die on this mission. And we'll start off with LT.
Who do I want to die? You guys all know I love Beric Dondarrion, but you know what? I love the other characters more, so just let it be Beric Dondarrion and Thoros, because I want the rest of them all to survive. So let those be the two guys to take it. If any of the other guys die, like the Hound or Gendry, or Gendry just got back, so I don't want him to die. So yeah, I'll nominate Beric and Thoros to die.
Okay. Jerry?
Well, I'm definitely saying, Beric has already outlasted his book counterpart, so I'm thinking this is the time for him to go. So I think definitely him, Thoros as well. Do we need another Red Priestess at this point? Or Red Priest? No. I think he's pretty expendable. Gendry, I think, might go. That one, and Jorah. I think Davos, Jon, and who am I missing?
Davos didn't go north.
I thought Davos went with them.
Nope. Davos said, "I'm not a fighter. I would just be in your way."
The team is Jon, Tormund,
Jon,
Gendry, the Hound, Beric, Thoros. Who am I missing? I'm missing one.
Davos was that last 7.
No, I think someone else.
Tormund's gone too, I think.
Oh, it's Jorah. It's Jorah.
Okay, so I think it might be everyone but the Hound and Jon, I think.
Davos said he's not going because remember he said that he's not a fighter.
Yeah, okay. Hold on, let me count. James, you go on. I'm going to count real quick.
All right, so. No, I guess I got to make my predictions for who I think is going to die then, right?
Go for it.
All right, so out of the people that go up, see, and this is a hard one because there are a lot of reasons why many of them probably should live. But, man, all right, so Thoros and Beric, yeah, Thoros and Beric already, yeah, those two are going to have to wind up going. I think the Hound's got to live because we got to get Clegane Bowl. We gotta. Man, I don't know what is we got to see what is gonna be Gendry's role. He just came back, but yeah, what's going to be Gendry's role? John obviously has got to live. Jorah, I don't know. Jorah could die, even though Tyrion gave him the coin, so that that would be kind of crazy. Yeah, you know what?
You
I'm
also
just gonna
know
say
that
I'm gonna say you know Thoros and Beric. Thoros and
I mean, I
Beric.
think those are the obvious ones. But also the thing why I think Jorah's gonna die because every time someone fucking says, "You better come back to me," it never fucking happens. Like you see Missandei say, "Grey Worm, you better come back." We know he's toast.
Whoa, you know
Well, he's
what?
still alive.
Huh?
I forgot about people saying that John might die and get resurrected. So could John count as one of those?
Well, yeah, he might die, but he'll come. If he dies, he'll come back. So I don't really count him. Okay, I'll go with I'm gonna go with my level of confidence. So Thoros and Beric. Beric being number 1, Thoros being number 2, Jorah number 3, and Tormund number 4. Those are my 4 and then Gendry number 5. Gendry is the least likely, I think, that will die. I'm pretty sure the Hound and Jon will come back.
I mean, but you said, Grey Worm they did say that with Grey Worm, but Grey Worm isn't dead. He's still alive.
He's gonna be dead.
Well, we'll see. I mean, he's not dead yet anyway. But here's the 7, just to make sure that we are on the same page. The 7 is Sandor, Gendry, Tormund, Jon Snow, Jorah, Beric, and Thoros. That's the 7. Obviously, we all have said the same thing. Beric and Thoros are toast for sure.
Right.
I think Gendry is safe. I think he's got some plot armor. He just came back. I believe he needs to see Arya if he's gonna before he dies. And I don't think he's gonna die because, like I said, I think in this utopia, D&D's utopia, that after the wheel is broken, he will be reinstated as the House of Baratheon head. Sandor, I think he's got much more to do, and everyone loves the Hound for the most part, the show Hound. I think he's safe. Tormund, I think, could die. To me, he's on the fence. I think Tormund could die. I don't want him to see him die because I like Show Tormund a lot, but I could see him die. The one thing that holds him up, in my opinion, is he is the only wildling of consequence at this point. If you don't have Tormund, you have zero representation of the wildlings. That's the one thing that's keeping him alive, in my opinion. Jorah, I think Jorah's going to live because I do think Jorah's going to die. But I don't think Jorah dies in this way. I think he dies sacrificing himself for Dany. I don't see him dying in this regard. It just, to me, it would be anticlimactic. It wouldn't be D&D. It might be George, but it's not D&D. D&D likes the drama. They want to build up the drama. They want Jorah going out in blazing glory for Dany. I just don't see him dying up here, if that makes any sense. And yeah, Beric and Thoros, they're toast. To me, they're 100% dying for sure. But yes, essentially, I think Beric and Thoros dying for sure. I think Jorah, Sandor, and Gendry have plot armor, and they're going to live. And I think Tormund is on the fence. Tormund could go either way. The only thing keeping him alive is the fact he is the only wildling representative at this point.
Okay.
Cool, they could just phase out the wildlings and just have no name wildlings the way they have the Dothraki now.
Well, I mean, like I said, I thought Bronn was going to die, but he's a fan favorite. Are they just servicing the fans at this point? Like, Tormund's a fan favorite. A lot of people like Tormund. And for good reason. He is a badass on the show. I like him a lot better on the show than I do in the books, but, I mean, I think they might keep him alive for that reason. But we'll see. I will say, though, that, and I didn't see any pictures or anything from the preseason, and I saw the shot of Beric lighting up, in the preview, lighting up his sword and holding it. That shot was pretty fucking badass. I'm not even going to lie.
I was actually terrified for Tormund this episode because it's called Eastwatch by the Sea, and Bran said that that's where Night King was headed. So I thought there was going to be some kind of hard home this episode. So I'm actually glad Tormund didn't die this episode.
Oh, that hard home's coming next episode, I think.
Probably.
Although, I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, is anyone really safe at this? After this next episode, there's only 7 episodes left. I mean, almost all of them are expendable.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like Gendry has to see Arya. and I feel like Jorah, if he's going to die, it's going to be in sacrifice for Dany.
Mm-hmm.
Won't you feel ripped off as a Gendry fan if they bring him back for 2 episodes? I'll be kind of fucked up if they kill him off.
Like I said,
I mean, Gendry's already gotten more time in the show than he probably will in the book. So, I don't know.
All right, so let's get the numbers. Let's get to numbers. All right, LT, since I know you gotta run, we'll start off with you. What do you
Derek
give?
Dondarrion, baby, solid 10. I'm just playing. I give this episode a 7. It's not great. It's not bad. It's like above average, so I give it a 7.
Okay, let's see here, Mr. James Bouchel, your rating.
To me, this was the worst episode of the season. It was riddled with logical and fallacies, a lot of them, but there was still some, I guess, redeemable qualities, and I understand that it's a setup episode, because essentially next episode is the 9th episode of a normal season. I give it a 6. I didn't think it was the absolute drizzling shits, but I don't think it was great either. It had a lot of logical issues for me, but I didn't think it was terrible. I've seen worse episodes anyway.
Okay, all right. Listen, we always gotta try to guess Jerry's number. So, LT, what do you think Jerry's number is gonna be?
Well, the fans can't hear what we're talking about before, and Jerry was like, fuck this episode. So I don't know if this is like a Prometheus fuck this episode or if it could have potential. So I'm going to say Jerry gives it 1 above a 4 out of 10. I'm going to say Jerry gave it a 5.
Okay. James, what do you think Jerry's giving it?
Well, 5 wouldn't be fuck this episode, though.
I think Jerry's giving it a 3.75.
Okay. I'm going to say that Jerry gives this one a 3. So, with that being said, Jerry, your number.
Well, I mean, it had a lot of stupid in it, but it did have a few good scenes in it that I did like. Mostly it was a setup thing, so a lot of the stupid can either go either way depending on the next episode. So we'll just say, give it a 4.5 out of. No, we'll give it a 5 out of 10. Just.
Oh wow!
Right in the
okay,
middle.
So Jerry going middle of the road, higher than me and James both thought
Yeah.
on this one. LT was actually.
We'll see how
right.
the payoff goes later. I might have to come back and reevaluate this.
All right. I mean, listen, we can. All right. So, for me, saying worst episode of the season makes it sound as though the episode is actually bad. I don't think it was a bad episode. Was it the best episode of the season? No. I liked it a lot, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a 7 for this one. Logical fallacies aside, I think just having, like, one of the issues that I sometimes have with some of these episodes is when they throw in, like, the one little scene here and then there's, like, nothing else. I think maybe if they had done some of the sequencing a little different, it might have worked out better for me. Sometimes it breaks up the flow of the episode, and that's a little off-putting for me. So, yeah, for this one, I'm going to give it a 7. Again, still like the episode a lot. I still think they're doing really good for this season. But, yeah, this was a little bit of a step down from last week, in my opinion, and apparently everyone else on the panel. And let's go into the chat to see what numbers we got here. So, Ricky Hunt, I believe he was the first one to throw up a number on this one, and he gave it a 5, which I'm actually kind of surprised about that one. The Boy Wonder gave it a 6.5. Tadpole gave it 8.5. Game of Theories with Marie gives it 7. Brendan Parker 8.5. Plexi gives it a 6.5. Marco gives it a 6. Jake Cruz gives it a 6.5. David Marriott says 6.5. Wow. So, I mean, it's pretty much kind of around the same numbers that we're, some are a little higher, some a little lower. Morgan Barker gives it a 7 as well. So, I mean, the numbers are kind of pretty. Yeah, the numbers are pretty consistent.
7.
Say that again?
Looks like it's ranging between 5 and a 7.
Yeah, Raymond Rodriguez gives it a 7.5.
Bro.
Oh, that's your brother? Okay. I had no idea he watched the show. What's happening? Yeah, wow. And you know what's crazy? For an episode for an episode that we, weren't really digging all that much, we actually spent a lot more time on this one than usual. Yeah,
Samurai.
Yeah, we actually kind of got a little long-winded for this one.
Well, I will say, if I had my old mindset where I thought I was eating at a prime steakhouse, I would have given it a lower grade. But like I said, I'm at McDonald's now, and I'm enjoying what I'm getting.
Okay. All right. Anyways, we're gonna.
It's just hard for me to fathom an adaptation of A Song of Ice and Fire as McDonald's. That's just.
Well, let me hear Jerry and James say at the same time. What is the motto of McDonald's? I'm loving it.
I'm not gonna say that.
Okay. Hold on. I just gotta address something real quick, man. Because we kind of had this issue last year where people, just whatever we say, if it's not a fucking 10. Then we're assholes. Look, we're allowed not to give everything fucking high marks all the goddamn time. It doesn't have to be that everything is a 10 or it's a 1. There is a spectrum in between, okay? And sometimes shit doesn't always get a 10, and we've all said that this season does not suck. So I'm really starting to get tired of the whole thing of, if we don't get the shit a 10, we fucking hate the show, man.
Willie, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
All right, if you don't like our grades, just go watch the False Hypes channel. He loves it, and he dick rides the show. So if you don't like us, just go watch the False Hype.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, man, let's wrap this shit up, man. I gotta get up early in the morning, and now I'm fucking aggravated. Yeah, so anyway, let's go around the horn. Everybody say their goodbyes. Because now this shit is starting to fucking piss me off. LT, I know you got to go, so you're up first.
Yeah, I'll do my son up first. All right, so first off, I want to ask the chat and ask people watch this video later. I'm missing doing the Q&A. We haven't done that this year. If we get a certain amount, I'm going to discuss this with Jerry because we're the main ones doing it, and we'll talk with Willie and James, but if we get a certain amount of comments in the comments about doing it, me and Jerry will talk about it, and we'll see if we do it. Because I miss doing it, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, I always love doing this. These are my boys. And we'll see you guys next week, for sure.
All right, James.
I just want to know what the people want. If you want me to give every episode a 10 and just love every single thing, then just tell me that's what you want. I mean, if you want honesty, I'll give you honesty. I'm sorry if that doesn't tickle your pickle. But yeah, I'm JBTV. Out.
All right, man. Jerry?
Jerry the Targaryen Steamboat. Yeah. We'll be back next week. Look for us to do some... We'll be doing a reread sometime this month. LT, do you want to mention the chapter that we'll be doing?
Yeah, we'll be doing The Wayward Bride. It's a chapter me and Kraken discussed when we first met each other. We both love it. It's an epic chapter. And I'm pretty sure if you guys have read it, you would like it. It's in Death of the Dragon. Asha is the main point at POV. And look forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah. And maybe we'll think about doing a Q&A maybe after episode 6, just before the final. So if you guys want it, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, all right, and yeah, you already know who I am. You already know my goddamn channel. I'll be back with another Ice and Fire opinion later this week or something. I still got to do a review for episode 4. I didn't get around to doing that. I'll do one for episode 5 as well. You know, it's late. I'm fucking aggravated right now. Sorry to anybody who's watching later who's gonna be like, oh, why is Don Willie so damn pissed off? All right, yeah.
Oh,
man.
one more thing. If we do this Q&A, that'll give you all a chance that if you do have a disagreement of how we're doing things, ask us in the Q&A. I don't have any problem defending any way I look at things. I can always explain pretty easily.
All right. Anyway, look, you already know the deal. Rate, comment, subscribe, share, tell your friends, come back for more. That has been a Hypes Watch, and we all saying Valor Morghulis, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Woo!
Haters gonna hate.